That was not flunk you. It was just kind of heavy on my mind. I guess you made it. But I'm happy to be here because when I think about this award, I don't necessarily think about it for myself per se. I think about this award because in a lot of ways it belongs to the university, it belongs to the community. And I think about the people that I have the honor and privilege of being able to work with over the years. Many of my colleagues across campus. It gives me a lot of pleasure, for example, to I think back as early as 1977 when I professionally walked on this campus. I didn't remember seeing the diversity of learners that are even in this room. And so I feel with pride when I see you all walk in this room in the way that you're putting a explanation point on critical mass for Weber State University. And to that end, I thank you so much. I appreciate all of the community support that we get. My colleague and good friend, Sarah McClellan, that she's up here so much on so many different committees that I think they said, is she a new faculty or what? You know, they think she actually works for the university. And so I really appreciate she and others' efforts that they put in. I have the honor of presenting this award to Aurelie Thomas. I had a chance to sit down and visit with her earlier this evening, she and her family. And sometimes I get so inept because I'm so awed about the type of work that many of these recipients have brought forward to represent this university, but also represent this community. That her master's in communication is a testament to the type of passion and enthusiasm that she brings to not only learning, but to me, where the rubber hits the road is service to your community. I could remember back in the early 70s when I was in junior college in Oklahoma, I used to do campaigning for Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm, who was running for president at the time, and she used to always tell us is that she says that service is the rent that you pay for the time that you spend on this earth. And when she said to me to us that were, we were just passing out handbills and doing our normal rallying for Congresswoman Chisholm at the time. But when she said that to me, it just resonated and stayed with me for years and years afterwards. Service is the rent that you pay for your time on this earth. So what that means is that we all have an obligation to be able to serve during the time that we are here. When I met earlier, I was laughing to myself because this woman is the essence of service. So while she is very astute and keen to academics, you can bet that she does her work in this community, that she works with the homeless, that she works in orphanages, and she spoke very passionately about opportunities that she's had to work in orphanages. That she's been an advocate for the family courts. Just down the street here in the Farmington court system. And, but equally as important that she's done work for the agency Safe Harbor. Some of you might be familiar with the agency Safe Harbor, that is essentially a women's shelter for abused and battered women. This woman has a long and deep resume of service to humankind. And it's just, to me, an honor and bone chilling, literally, to meet someone like this who carries on her passions beyond the classroom, beyond her studies, beyond the work that she has to do to raise her family. And so, without further ado, I would like to present the Forrest Crawford Stewardship Award for this year to Aurelie Thomas. Would you please come forward, please? Yeah, there we go. I won't read all of the details on here, but one of the things about the Stewardship Award is stewardship is a word that implies that you have a responsibility to take care of some stuff. That's what a steward is. A steward is one that is been assigned to take care of responsibilities. And people like Aurelie and others that have received this award, I view their role in accepting this award is that you have a job to do, that you don't accept the award and go running off and bragging about it. You accept the award knowing that come Monday morning, it's time to go to work. Congratulations.
I appreciate Dr. Crawford's kind words, and I would like to thank my family for their unwavering love and support through all this time, and to Dr. Crawford for creating this recognition and supporting graduate students. And I would like to give a special thanks to Michiko Nakashima de Sarazo and Monica Rodriguez for their amazing example of service and love for all students, and for their tireless work in promoting multiculturalism and inclusion in the community. With that said, I'd like to share something with you. As seekers of light and truth, we often become fascinated and enthralled in a wide array of subjects, techniques, and practices aimed at improving ourselves. We are then propelled into an endless quest for meaning. We constantly devour every book that contains the promise of a better life, or those simply aimed at opening our eyes to a wealth of knowledge about the intricacies and works of the universe. As our fascination for this grows, sometimes along with it grows a feeling of dissatisfaction when we do not attain the high level of achievement we were hoping to obtain. When success and happiness do not happen as if by magic, and in spite of us doing and integrating the practices outlined, we might become even more fierce in a never-ending search for the meaning of life or the key to success. But in doing so, we greatly risk true contentment and joy. We begin to isolate ourselves in a world in which we think we see me and the rest, losing sight of what is presently happening in the world. Instead of enjoying the small and simple miracles happening around us daily, We become detached from its beauty and numb our response to living fully in the moment. We might grow increasingly dissatisfied and even defensive and avoid opening our hearts to other people and to fully living this life. Doing so negate us the opportunity to become more. Loving ourselves and others deeply is the essence of our existence. We naturally and effortlessly grow from this experience alone. Practicing love and kindness towards self, those that are close to us, and even those that differ greatly from us, is one of the most growing and spiritual practices we could engage in. In the end, any amount of knowledge about human relationships, success techniques, and workings of the universe will be rendered null if we cannot accept and make part of our lives the most basic and essential practice of all: loving, serving, and including others. This will launch us into the most exquisite adventure we could possibly enjoy during our journey through life. Love and service that surpasses romantic love, races, and cultures and cultural barriers, as well as differences in dislikes in others, is the purest form of enlightenment we can fulfill in our lifetime. Gracias.
Thank you so much, Heather. That was beautiful. We're now moving into the portion where we get to hear from our top graduating seniors. And so let me read a quick introduction. The top graduating seniors that will be recognized today, they're sitting right here in the front. They're receiving this honor because they've distinguished themselves through their leadership on multiple occasions. All of the seniors are elite students who the committee felt have contributed and dedicated their time to the center and the university. The nominees have achieved a 3.2 GPA or higher and were ranked on a set of criteria that includes academics, leadership, community service, inclusion, initiative, and teamwork. They strive for excellence through helping others and have actively participated in making WSU a better university for all students and their community. Tonight, we get to hear from them. As I call their name, each of our top graduating seniors will share their Weber experience, successes, and words of wisdom. So we will first hear from Minsum Choi. And I'm going to go ahead and read each of the names of everyone that we're going to hear from. And you're already sitting in the right order. So when the person next to you is done talking, go ahead and just come right up to the front and talk. If I come and stand next to you and put my arm around you, that means you've been talking too long. There's still some snacks to be had, so All right, so after we hear from Minsum Choi, we will hear from Melanie Flores, and then Jesus Garcia. And then after Jesus, we'll hear from Patricia John, and then Joel Oliva, Latrell Padmore, and Amy Urbina.
Hi everyone, of course I'm first. This is fun. I just wanted to thank everyone for everything. I cannot be here without any of you. I remember the first time I stood onto this campus with my dad before I started school here. I saw the flyer of the top 10 graduating seniors for the Center for Multicultural Excellence. I remember I told my dad, I said, I'm going to be on that list. And he was like, yeah, sure. And I said that. So unfortunately, he's not here to witness this because he's still in Hong Kong, where my family's from, but it's okay, I'll send him pictures. One of the most important of my lessons I learned at Weber State University is it's okay to fail. It's only failure if you stop trying. Just keep on making goals, keep on making great mentors and friendships on your way here. I had the great opportunity of having so many mentors, Ichika Nakashima, Lizarazo. Thank you for being a mother to me. I remember I became a leader mostly through her support when she told me to stand up when nobody else stood up. She told me to speak up, to sit, have my back straight. Oh, it's so fun. And then Olga Antonio, thank you for teaching me how to forgive people. Christian Thompson. Thank you for standing by me. I know we kind of always joke about me being your mentor and you being the mentee, and that's not how it was. You were my mentor. You taught me so many things. And thank you, Bert Perazzi. He's the Vice President of Student Affairs, emphasis on students. He always listened to me every single month. I'd go to him, I'd complain. Well, I didn't complain, but yeah, I guess it was complaining. And he would make sure everything was okay, and he would fix everything for me. Well, not exactly for me, he would just help out, I guess. But thank you. And even though my family isn't here because, other obligations, I do have my executive family with me. For Alexander, Katie Gibbons, Patrick Luke, and Andrew Glover, Mackenzie Glover as well. So thank you for being here. I couldn't have made it without any of you guys, so thank you.
All right, so I'm gonna use a paper because I need to focus. We're also quiet. So it starts out with college isn't easy. There are many things that can go wrong, new obstacles to face, and sometimes it feels impossible to graduate. But thankfully, I had a team of supportive people behind me. One of my obstacles was managing my time. I was a director of the service team, had a few classes left, and other personal matters to take care of alongside with work. Luckily, to overcome that obstacle, I had my family at home and friends at the CME to support and motivate me. The most important life lesson I've learned in college is to make friends and make sure you know what resources your college has to offer and to use them. The CME office has been like my family at school. At home, I had my family that encouraged me. But at Weaver, I had my CME family that knew what I was going through because they're going through the same thing. Without the CME, I think I would have worried more about affording tuition than my classes and grades. Also, my CME advisor, Tashina, provided me with a lot of knowledge to make the best of my college experience. The peer mentor program also helped me realize that I enjoy being engaged and opened the door for me to join the service team and move up the ladder. As for the people I'd like to thank my parents, especially my mom, for always being next to me. And even when I was crying because of finals or I was stressed out, she was always there. Tashina for keeping me on track and for just encouraging me and making sure that I was getting everything done. The CME staff, that was literally my second family. I could go and complain to them. I could go and basically get motivation from them whenever I needed to. Dr. Romo for the letters of recommendation after I graduated, thank you so much. And Lori for being such a great work mom. And the friends also that I have made at Weaver, especially at the CME.
Hello. So I remember attending the Ceremony of Excellences for the past few years, whether it was as a supportive friend for others who had won the award, or even as last year for the photographer, to be the photographer. And I remember being in such awe of the students who had been receiving this prestigious award and just looking up to them as role models. And I just honestly never imagined myself being up here, being one of the students, along with the other remarkable students getting ready to graduate next week. So, but now that I'm here, I've got a few words to say. So, my time at Weaver has honestly been such a dream. I've been involved in so many capacities that have basically made this experience for me the real college experience, Everyone has a different one, but I feel like I've had a very fulfilling college experience, and that's a majority part of it is because of the social support systems that I've been able to create and be a part of. So I have a few people that I just want to thank, but I can't look at you guys. So first and foremost, I would like to thank my parents who just couldn't be here tonight. They've been the biggest emotional support that I've had when they didn't have the means to be financial or academic support. But they could only take off one day in a bi-weekly period, so they're saving themselves for my actual graduation. So at least they'll be there. But I would also like to thank Kenzie and Andrew for taking their place and being my adoptive parents pretty much, taking me in as one of their own. And so many others like Patricia, Brad, Maria, Marcella, Lori, and so many others I keep naming on, but I got a time limit, so I can't. So honestly, it's just been a roller coaster to be here, and I just want to thank one more person who I just cannot forget, who I've known for the past 7 years. she got me to get involved with the Gear Up program when I was at Clearfield High School to utilize my resources to obtain a higher education. And she helped me get a Washington, D.C. internship to learn how to advocate for other programs like Gear Up, Trio Talent Search, and Upward Bound, and other programs and underrepresented students like that. And she got me my first job up here on campus too with the Gear Up program. So I spent 3 years there serving the community in ways that she served me. So she's been my mentor, my advisor, my life coach, everything else. But most importantly, been my friend for the past 7 years. And even though she doesn't work here anymore, everything that I do here is because I'm inspired by her and continue to want to be motivated by her. So yeah. So honestly, so much support that I've had here, and the Stole and the award is honestly for them, my parents, my family, my friends, and Andrea Curtis Boatman, but most importantly for me, for my time that I put in here, because we get to wear this silent stole. So I'm gonna be walking out of graduation already, but it's just been a dream come true here, so thank you so much for this award.
Jag är Patricia Benal, John Initiat, 200 initiative, and he does his chain, as he does a chain, do get the cheat national. They could ego the nest on initiative. I have na half class on the Engido, and he has one of Johnny Hishabai Hanison. Now, what I have shared with you today are my plants. I come from near the water plant. I am born for the Folded Arm people. My maternal grandfather is the Salt plant, and my paternal grandfather is the Moss plant. And I know that I'm not the first that I've been able to share my language, and I know I'm not the last. So I really, really like to say and encourage to the upcoming Native American students to continue to speak your language. And as you've seen in the video, I was never afraid to share my culture. I was never afraid to share what embodies me as a person and my identity, so I've always felt empowered to share that and to share with others. So with that, to my AIC and the Indigenous students in higher education. Most times you are the only Native in the classroom. You may feel alone, but know that I look up to you. Native youth look up to you. I am here because of you. So I wanted to give a big shout out to the American Indian Council, because without them I wouldn't have had the tremendous opportunities and the experience of working as a team and representing that 0.0004% here on campus. And I'd like to also give a shout out to Olga. She's been a mentor and a scholarship mentor for me, and I've always been out to her, so I've always had that support from her. I also like to give a shout out to Andrea Hernandez for always being that emotional support on campus for me. Michiko and Dr. Romo, for to see me, I wouldn't have been successful, and without the scholarship, I feel that I wouldn't have been where I'm at. I've always been struggling as a student, as a single mom, also, and financially. Just a small little story. When I first came to campus at Weber State was in 2016, and I was really afraid that I wouldn't fit in. It was until I came to the CB that I felt welcome finally, and I'm here. So I've really come full circle to be standing here before you guys. I'm really thankful for that. And I also like to give a shout out to my professor, Dr. Bird, in representing the education department. They've always welcomed me with open hands, and were never afraid to allow me to